So oftentimes when I'm just browsing the internet, especially through mobile browsers like Google Chrome, I get these the articles, the news articles at the bottom of the fucking
No, I didn't forget. Nefas, yo,
search
bitch
page.
ass, you're next.
That's like recommended. It's based on like what you look for or what you like are technically interested in. You know what I mean? And I found this article. It's one of the like 3 easiest articles I found today, and I was like, okay, the hell is this? Because the headline spoke to me a little bit here. The Elder Scrolls Online's Emperor is dangerously time-consuming. An in-game costume shouldn't cost players their health. I was like, okay, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? And then I started reading the article, and I'm gonna read the article here, okay? I've been losing myself in the Elder Scrolls Online since I was 13. Okay, first of all, Monk and Toss. Not supposed to be playing ESO when you're fucking 13 years old, but okay. But this year, okay, so it's been 8 years, right? Or how old is this person, bro? I actually don't know. Like, let's assume they started playing launch. It's been 8 years. Now they're 21, at least, or something like that, right? But this year, I finally made the move to playing the MMORPG on PlayStation. Okay, with that came trophies, and if you don't, for those of you who are not console players, they have the Xbox achievement system and the PlayStation trophy system. So I opened up the list, and it took a little browse to see if the platinum was achievable. Beat every dungeon easy. Get through the main quest, already doing that. Oh, and become the Emperor of Cyrodiil. How hard can that be? It's not hard. Surely ZeniMax has made it less tedious than it was 8 years ago, right?
No, I didn't forget. Nefas, yo, bitch
It's
ass,
still
you're
a
next.
dangerous task with incredibly demanding, unhealthy requirements that in the game's current state just aren't that realistic. Okay, so let's keep reading. To become Emperor, you have to be the #1 player in your PvP alliance in that month or week's campaign. That's the easy part. What this means is getting the most points by handing in repeat dailies, capturing keeps, killing players, etc. There's also grinding. Lots and lots of grinding, while others are also busy grinding to get ahead of you in the race to glory. If you go offline, chances are someone who is grinding even harder will take your spot, so you have to catch up or simply not log off. Basically, you have to no-life the game for about a full month. And I was like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Forget sleep, forget work, forget your social life, that, or help somebody else no life in a guild, and then somebody else, and then somebody else, and hope that eventually your ticket comes up and you get boosted. But even that's not guaranteed, because you're running the same gauntlet as everyone else across 3 different alliances. It's nigh impossible if you have a job, school, a partner, a social life, or anything else to do at all. Becoming Emperor pushes you to sleep deprivation, unhealthy habits, and gaming more than anyone should. It just isn't worth the sacrifice. I lost my shit when I read this. I was like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? I'm like, let's just keep reading. Maybe I misread something here, right? Let's just keep going. Go on any forum about how to get Emperor, and most people will jump in with handy advice that boils down to wait for the summer holidays and play and do nothing but ESO. Okay, any forum, I bet you they went to the subreddit forum about this shit. You know what I mean? Obviously, that advice tends to be aimed at kids and teens. Others recommend booking a month's holiday off work. A month's holiday off work? Where the fuck do you live? To no life and MMO? That's excessive and a huge waste of your free time. But it's a prestigious rank. No, it's not. That proves your love and dedication to the game. No, it's not. Or at least that's the way that so many in the community try to justify its existence and what's required. It's not. Okay?
No,
Emperor is a
Nefas, yo,
symbol
bitch
of
ass,
pointless
you're next.
dedication. You get a few boons, a costume, and a little rank. It's not worth the time invested at all, and it's not a reward for showcasing skill or merit. This is true. Just because you're Emperor doesn't mean, you're the best PvPer, right? You could be the best PvP player in the world, winning every single fight, but someone who logs in 12 hours a day to repair the keep walls and capture the odd fort with their mates is gonna beat you. If you're repairing walls 12 hours a day to get Emperor and capturing a fort or a resource occasionally with that 12-hour time frame, that's not how you go for Emperor. All right, the skill comes in optimizing that grind and knowing the best way to boost points. Okay, then do it. To call this skill is stretching the term. Okay, on PC alone, it exacerbated the usual MMO health problems of poor posture and strained eyes, with incentives to play nothing but ESO on repeat for days and hours at a time, sacrificing your own life for a digital costume that doesn't even look that good. Did Auden's write this shit? It's a dangerous goal. It's a dangerous goal. It's a dangerous goal that ZeniMax still hasn't addressed in the 8 years since ESO's launch, and it isn't helped by the acceptance from players who argue that it shouldn't be easy to get, because then everybody would be Emperor, devaluing the title. On that much I agree, but keeping it as a lofty rank for the best of the best doesn't mean pushing your player base to go to hazardous lengths to reach it. On PlayStation and Xbox, it's even worse. Apparently it's somehow worse now. Now there's a trophy and achievement attached. Trophy hunting already veers into the obsessive far too often, pushing players to spend absurd amounts of time doing menial and often bland tasks at the detriment of their own mental health just to get a ding of serotonin. Attach one of the most demanding MMO unlocks to that and you've just made a bad problem a terrible one. When I trialed it for... Okay, this guy's gonna start talking about his personal experience, right? When I trialed it for an evening, I got to the 20th spot in a few hours. I logged off and came back to find that I was way back at number 86. So I'm gonna assume they did it at the start of the campaign. That was supposedly during a quiet campaign too. And in my little test, I was playing with someone who was in the top spot, actually grinding for the Emperor title. They'd been on for the past 10 hours. When I left to go to the movies and came back, they were still on. Oh shit. Alright. The rank should reward skill and should reward the best of the best. But the best of the best aren't school kids waking up at 10 a.m. and playing until 3 a.m. during the summer. The best might be a parent working at 9 to 5 who gets a couple of hours in a day. Okay, that's bullshit. Come on. You're gonna play a couple hours a day and you're gonna be the best of the best? Get the fuck out of here. But spends those hours annihilating people in the campaign. Exit out. Rallying troops to take down keeps. Tying Emperor to alliance points and thus time spent is a huge detriment to the title. Naturally, that's good for ZeniMax because it means players keep playing, the ESO keeps growing. But at what cost? It conjures images of players dropping dead in cyber cafes playing World of Warcraft. Player health shouldn't be on the chopping block to keep this MMORPG giant chugging. Pitting vulnerable people against each other creates this unhealthy cycle of too much game time. That's what it's designed to do. So log off. It's not worth it. Leave it until ZeniMax hopefully irons it out. I read this article today, alright, before I started streaming, and I laughed my fucking ass off, alright? The reason why okay, maybe some of you will think I'm an asshole, but here's the thing. The reason why I laughed my ass off at this is because so much of this could be solved by researching just for 20, not even 20, 10 minutes, how to get Emperor really fucking fast. You don't have to stay up 10 hours a day. You don't have to stay up 48 hours. You know what I mean? The first guy who did it at launch, his diet was trail mix and staying up for 24, 27 hours straight. Nowadays, you'll probably get in the first 2 fucking hours. Also, this guy doesn't mention the fact that the guy who was grinding, did he have a guild? Does he have friends? Because you usually cannot get the Emperor by yourself. Because there's also the human element involved in the guilds and PvP guilds and PvP groups, usually, that help you push for the keeps you need for the Emperorship. So it's like, yeah, you can grind all you want, but if no one's gonna push with you, then what the fuck, you know what I mean? And there's so many other things wrong with this fucking thing. Like, he's comparing grinding for Emperor. I've grinded for Emperor in both healthy and unhealthy manners, okay? Literally for a month straight. I stayed up for a week straight, literally, in 2020. Not because I want an Emperor, because I just wanted to keep it and just fucking fuck around with it during Mid-Year Mayhem that year, right? You don't have to do that. But the healthy manner is like, you know, getting the first 2 hours, easy, as long as you coordinate, you know? But the funniest thing was him comparing, you know, fucking players dying in cyber cafes. I don't know if you guys know this, but in the past, especially in Asia, and even in South Korea where I'm from, right? You'd find some people game for 24 hours straight. And these people literally sat in their chairs, right? And they found them still, like, you know, clutched. Like, one hand clutching the mouse and one hand in the claw grip over the keyboard, right? After 24, maybe 27 hours. And, you know, they just killed themselves because of that. That's not what usually happens with people who are grinding for Emperor. Like, you just don't sit still and not eat, not drink. I mean, you're gonna, you know, I don't know. Like, I don't know anyone who who has the same fucking mentality as the people in those kinds of situations. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. But I just found it fucking funny. I just found it fucking hilarious. Honestly. There's also a couple things I don't agree with, because it's kind of like, well, there's so many things. Like, how hard can that be? It's not hard. Grinding, how are you grinding? You know what I mean? And then, I don't know. I will agree with this here, right here. Emperor is a symbol of pointless dedication. Yeah. You don't have to get it. You get a few boons. Yeah, you get passives that work in combat. A costume and a title. Cool. Welcome to ESO, where literally the hardest raids give you a title, maybe a mount. Not even a skin anymore. Okay. You know what I mean? I don't know. And I don't. It was just fucking funny. I figured I would share it because I see these articles a lot, where these people are talking about things they have absolutely no goddamn idea about. It's just funny to me. That's all. And I don't know. I don't understand the logic here with this. Where is it? Something about the best players. The best player might be a parent working a 9 to 5, who only plays a couple of hours a day. I have yet to meet a player that is one of the best players playing 2 hours a day. I have played this game for over 8 years. Most of the best players I know, on average, probably put like 10 hours a week. At least. Right? And that could be in big chunks per day. Probably 10 to 15 at minimum. Was this just a random find? Yeah, this was just a random find. You know? Sometimes Google bombards me with these random articles about ESO. And I'm like, okay, what the fuck is this about? And the headline was, it's dangerous. It's dangerous, chat, to get Emperor. So don't do it. As the article concludes, alright, chat, log off. It's not worth it. Don't go for Emp until Zos fixes it. That's the advice of the article. The advice of the article isn't, hey, you should take care of yourself. You should learn how to take care of yourself. You should, I don't know, learn from streamers or learn from people who've gone for Emperorship. You should research how to get Emperorship faster. The fucking point of the article is, just log off. It's not worth it. Just leave it alone until ZeniMax, you know, maybe does something with it. I'm just like, what the fuck is this shit? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's really clickbaity, because it's like, well, what is this false fucking equivalency between people dying in cyber cafes in Asia
Nefas, yo bitch ass, you're next.
and people going for Emperor? There's absolutely no goddamn comparison. And you're talking to me, right, chat, like, I have gone for this fucking Emperorship in the most unhealthy fucking manner possible. But even then, it was not as extreme as fucking, I don't know, the fucking cyber cafes. At all. You know what I mean? Don't get Emp, you'll die trying. I know, that's such a weird thing. That's basically the point in the article. Honestly. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about the article? The real point of this article is to scare people away from gunning for the titles so the author can get easier. I think that's what's going on, to be honest, to a degree, you know what I mean? Or maybe this guy really thinks, like, really genuinely thinks, it takes a month. What do you say? A month? Okay, you have to know life the game for about a full month. A full month. A full month. Yeah, I'll share the link. Fuck it. Yeah, you guys can read it if you want. You guys can read it on your own time if you're just coming in. A full month? Forget sleep, forget work, forget your social life. Oh my lord. Bruh. I've known so many people got an EMP and their parents, they're fucking, a couple of them are scientists. You know what I mean? One of them was a fucking professor. One emperor I knew, fucking, I'm pretty sure, dude, there was an emperor that was like a 60-year-old dude. You know, and you know, people helped him out and shit. You know what I mean? And there's no fucking way that 60-year-old dude spent a fucking full month grinding for goddamn emperor. Like, I don't know, man. It's just such a weird article. I get a bunch of these sometimes. I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. There was an article I also read too about like
Nefas, your bitch
the
ass,
new
you're
chapter.
next.
I don't know. That was also kind of weird, but it felt like more of a promotional thing. But yeah, that's the thing I wanted to share. I think it's funny.